This Sunday sees the biggest wrestling party event of the summer, the Jam That Jam versus F That F vote on our SummerSlam live reactions. And also, I guess SummerSlam 2. Now we're just 4 days away, the betting odds are taking shape, and the bookies are predicting a lot of title changes on the show. Use the timestamps in the video description below or YouTube's fancy chapters feature to skip ahead if you don't want to see who's currently the favourites to win each match. Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, and interestingly, Angel Garza and Andrade are all the favourites right now to win their respective titles they're fighting for. While Orton, Wyatt and Asuka have been reported or speculated to come out of SummerSlam as champions for a while, Garza and Andrade are a surprise, considering they've been beaten by the Street Profits almost every week. There's currently no daylight between Bayley and Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship, a match you'd think will hugely influence Sasha's Raw defense later in the night. Seth Rollins is predicted to beat Dominic Mysterio, Apollo Crews is the favorite to retain against MVP for the US Championship, and according to the bookies, Sonya Deville is getting her head shaved against Mandy Rose in their hair versus hair match. These odds should all be taken with a pinch of salt, as it's usually an hour before the pay-per-view when the smart money comes in, which is when writers or backstage staff give people behind-the-scenes tips to try and make a quick buck, and the odds become almost exactly right. Or, in other terms, illegal betting fraud. But it's wrestling, so it's fine. For the latest tips and major spoilers though, just follow WWE's own social media accounts. Just over a month after a developmental talent spoiled the results of Adam Cole and Keith Lee's Winner Takes It All NXT Championship and North American title match at Great American Bash, posting a picture on Instagram showing Lee holding both belts while being showered by confetti, WWE's social media team might have spoiled another NXT Championship match for this weekend's TakeOver XXX. Keith Lee is having his first major title defense against Karrion Kross on Saturday night, which WWE Shop promoted with a 20% off replica title sale, showing Kross wearing the NXT title belt on his shoulder. WWE Shop has since deleted the post. This could just be the social media team using the wrong image though. Ryan Satin has pointed out NXT's official account posted the same Kross as champion picture earlier this week with the caption, "TikTok, is it only a matter of time?" presenting a possible scenario as opposed to giving away the actual result. Because this week's AEW Dynamite has been moved to Saturday for the NBA, this is the first time all year I've woken up on a Thursday with no Dynamite to watch, and I genuinely miss it so much. Laurie Blake and Adam Blompier will be taking mine and Luke's AEW podcast slot today to live stream their NXT review. And then right after that, they'll be live streaming TakeOver XXX predictions on WrestleTalk Clips. Subscribe and enable notifications here and over on Clips to know when they go live first. Triple H did his usual media call to promote TakeOver yesterday, but the journalists wanted to discuss more controversial matters. Velveteen Dream had been taken off TV in June, around the same time as allegations against him resurfaced as part of the Speaking Out movement, where he was accused of sending inappropriate pictures to minors. Dream had previously denied the allegations when they first emerged in April. Several reports at the time said Dream was done with the company. But then he returned on last Wednesday's episode of NXT right into the North American title picture with a new heel gimmick, and he progressed to the vacant titles ladder match at TakeOver on last night's show. Triple H told CBS Sports earlier this week the real reason Dream was taken off TV was because he was recovering from a car accident in June, adding WWE investigated the Speaking Out allegations but didn't find anything. Hunter reiterated this on the TakeOver media call, saying, "I'll stand by what I said on CBS. We looked into it, didn't find anything there in the manner of what we're looking for, and we moved on. But it doesn't change the fact that we take it seriously. If there's something else there, we'll look into it. That goes across the board for anybody, but we've already talked about it, so I'd rather just move on to other topics." But one of the accusers posted last week that they were never contacted about any investigation, and Triple H's comments on the conference call appear to have prompted several other people to come forward again, saying they weren't spoken to either. WWE might want to just move on to other topics, but that will be harder to do if more accusers continue to stand by their own claims. Triple H also addressed another big story that had only broken just hours before the call. Renee Young has reportedly quit WWE. According to Mike Johnson, Young gave her notice a week ago. Alex McCarthy of TalkSport then added she will be finishing up with the company after Sunday's SummerSlam, which she's expected to work. Since joining the company in 2012, Renee has been regarded as one of the best non-wrestler talents WWE have ever had. But despite that, they never properly settled on the best use of her talents, moving her from backstage interviewer to commentator to talking smack host to WWE backstage. Young quitting the company follows a rocky relationship with them over the last few months. Her only consistent WWE gig of hosting backstage was cancelled by Fox, and then she tested positive for coronavirus following the Performance Center outbreak in June, where she tweeted, "Man, what a few days. My show gets cancelled and I get COVID. Wear your masks and wash your hands. Stay safe, everyone. Red heart emoji." The Wrestling Observer reported that WWE officials were unhappy with Young making her test results public. And while many wrestlers and talent reached out privately to wish her a speedy recovery, apparently the company itself never did. Thankfully, Renee made a full recovery. It's all enough to at least make one consider leaving your employer. And an Instagram story she posted last week, which would have been when she reportedly handed in her notice, implies she felt her talents weren't being valued, writing, "I know what I bring to the table, so trust me when I say I'm not afraid to eat alone." It's likely she'll find someone who does value her elsewhere soon though. She's recently written a comic book, is currently working on a cookbook, and has reportedly had interest from major sports networks like Fox and ESPN throughout the years, but she always decided to stay with WWE. There's also the small matter of her husband, Jon Moxley, being AEW champion. Renee Young to AEW confirmed. Why do you think Renee Young is leaving WWE? Let me know in the comments because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. I'll have the wrestling news roundup of everything else going on right now shortly, but first, here's a look at what's on the line for WrestleTalk at this Sunday's SummerSlam Live reactions. The faction disappeared after the first half hour. I thought it was going to build to something. Hopefully WWE learn from this though and boost security. I mean, what self-respecting wrestling outfit gets...
Hey, am I through? Ha! I hacked your show with a cell phone. That's embarrassing. It's pretty cool that I infiltrated your news video as opposed to the other way. Usually it's just me reporting everything. But it's amazing to watch you guys at WrestleTalk.
This is your fault, Ollie.
Come apart from the seams.
I won Quizlemania 2000. I'm pretty sure I can fend off Sean Ross Sapp.
The SWAF Nation love us. They wouldn't want to see this channel get branded with FTF. They're good people.
The main thing we need you to all to do and to tell everyone, come and watch us on the live reactions because we'll have a live vote running, and when Jam That Jam wins, then we can banish FTF forever. It's not going to happen again, don't worry.
It's gonna be FTF. You know what that stands for? That.
Support WrestleTalk and join me, Luke, Laurie and Adam for this Sunday's All-Star SummerSlam Live reactions, which will have a vote in the live chat, just normal chat, not super chat, so everyone can have a voice, to decide whether That F is banished forever, or the unthinkable happens, and it becomes WrestleTalk's official slogan. I'm sure that won't happen. Now it's time for the wrestling news roll-up, like Roundup but a roll-up, formerly WrestleTalk's rambunctious roundup of news, formerly the wrestling news... You know what? Here's just everything else in the wrestling news. When he wasn't talking about the Velveteen Dream or Renee Young controversies, Triple H did drop some interesting WWE details on the TakeOver call. Supposedly not knowing about the workout videos Lars Sullivan recently posted online, suggesting he's nearing a return from injury, the idea Randy Orton could come down for a match in NXT, with the Viper apparently saying he'd like to work with some NXT talent, which we exclusively reported several months ago to be either Adam Cole or Tommaso Ciampa. leg slap to that, and confirming WWE will hold a draft later in the year, which was originally reported to be held in August but has now been moved to October. Ring of Honor is ready to resume taping its shows this week, and there's a big debut coming. Spoilers ahead. PW Insider and WrestleZone are both reporting EC3 will debut for the promotion after his first non-WWE appearance for Impact Wrestling Slammiversary last month. Someone else who started popping up recently is Riddick Moss, who was reportedly set to get a big push pre-lockdown following his unforgettable 24/7 title feud with Mojo Rawley, and apparently being the 92nd person Vince McMahon was high on backstage that week. Moss has revealed he decided to take time away during the initial stages of the pandemic though, as his brother has cystic fibrosis and he didn't wish to endanger him. WrestleTalk's arch nemesis Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful is reporting WWE did indeed have big plans in place for Moss, but the then Raw executive director Paul Heyman made the decision to take him off TV. This was a way to protect Moss, so he wouldn't have had to request it himself and potentially gain heat for it. You know, despite WWE's promise that no one would be affected by any choices they made to work or not. Becky Lynch's wrestling hiatus will take a lot longer though, as she's currently pregnant, and during that time she's revealed she's writing a book, Toast and Me, a study in 7 volumes. While special guest Naomi was on this week's New Day podcast, Kofi Kingston reminisced about her early days in WWE when people would call her the female version of Kofi, which almost led to WWE giving them the same gimmick. In 2010, apparently WWE's merch team suggested that Kofi should start making his entrance with blacklight body paint, very similar to what Naomi does now with her Feel the Glow gimmick, pitching the idea to him as the black version of Jeff Hardy. Kofi, unsurprisingly, politely declined. A Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar returning to WWE. Press the video on the right to find out more, and subscribe to WrestleTalk and enable notifications to always on, so you know when Laurie and Adam go live with their NXT review podcast later today. I've been Ollie Davis. Jam that jam.